What's good, y'all? It's Crow from Out the Box. I'm back for another review video. Real quick, before I jump into the review today, make sure you like and subscribe to the channel if you like what you're hearing. You could also donate to the channel if you like what you've been seeing so far with these videos. I'll make sure I leave the links in the description of the video. All right, let's jump into the review. Today I want to talk about new album by MC by the name of Lord Kayso. It's entitled MOOR CHORES. He's a Brooklyn MC. The album came out on February 1st. It's about 17 tracks. And there's three main producers that lend the production to this album. One of them is Hygeno, the other one is Krista Castro, and the other one is Jesse Raxon. Off the bat, I have to say, when I heard this album, it's only on Bandcamp at the time, but when I heard it, I was intrigued from the beginning. The one thing that definitely stood out is the sequencing of the production and the quality of the production. The production has like a boom bap sound to it, but it sounds very crisp, like the drums are crisp, the beats sound very clean, and it has this Mad Lib-esque, beat conductor-esque type of vibe to it. So I really was brought in from the jump with that type of sound. The other thing is that the album sounds cohesively produced. Even though there's three different producers, all of the production kind of fit. It sounds like it's just one producer that did these beats. And when you listen to it, it feels like you're listening to the album in one full experience of a track. Like, it doesn't even feel like these tracks are like individual tracks. It just flows from one to the next. And it feels like you're just listening to this whole experience, right? So that's another good thing about this project. In terms of the subject matter, the album details street life, coming up in the hood, and how certain things that you see ain't all glitz and glamour. You know, like there's some hard times that should not be glorified or made light of stereotypically. The album also talks about family. He also talks about his uncle who's dealt with some mental challenges over the years and has had to be on meds to be stable and deal with that, right? But I also like how he highlights the positives of his uncle whenever his uncle is in a level-minded state, you know, just looking at the good that he sees in his uncle, you know. So it was dope to hear him highlight that and give it up and give props to his uncle in that way, you know. What's also interesting about the album and his style of MCing, it has a sort of a Caribbean influence. So you could kind of hear the Caribbean culture in his rhymes. Even in some of his accent, you hear sort of like the Guyanese accent mixed with the American New York accent, you know. So I thought that was really cool, and that's what makes him stand out, like being true to his culture. And he definitely reps his Caribbean culture a lot because he has reference to like foods like callaloo, pumpkin lentil soup, drinks like sorrel, ginger beer, shandy. Like, I love that he brings those food references that relate to the Caribbean culture in the music. And I think it makes him stand out as an MC in a unique way. There's also a really funny skit where his mom says, "Boy, go and clean your blasted room," in the Caribbean accent. So that's cool to hear too. There's also subject matter on here that's dealing with, you know, striving to success and him becoming smarter over the years and being less immature, and just him pursuing his dreams as an MC to be successful. So there's, you know, talk like that, like particularly on the track Opulence. He also has a track on here where you actually hear an excerpt from his dad kind of giving him positive advice and him, you know, being grateful for the love from his dad and his family members and stuff like that. So I really like this project, man. Overall, I think what stands out is the production as well as his unique sound, right? He has a really interesting way of delivering his rhymes. Like, he'll rap in sort of a light and somewhat comical way, but still conveying the serious message of what it's like coming up in the hood, and the harshness that's the hood puts young brothers through at times. So when you get a chance, man, definitely check out this album. It's called More Chores by MC Lord Kayso. The production is awesome is on here. I love the change up on the production on some of these tracks. Like, it's just a very intriguing project in terms of the production and Lord Kayso's voice. In fact, the last two tracks, Plate Scrape and Elephant, they have a really dope transition in terms of the beats and how they go from one song to the next, that you would be surprised to think that it's two different producers on those two different tracks. Like I said, the album sounds very cohesive. It's like you start the album, before you know it, you're finished. Like, it just moves seamlessly from track to track, and you're not even aware of like what track you're listening to unless you look at the track listing, because everything just works so closely and they weave together so well. So like I said, man, go check this album out. Lord Kayso. It's entitled More Chores. It's only on Bandcamp. I'm not sure when it'll come to digital streaming platforms, but I think it's definitely worth a purchase on Bandcamp. It's one of my favorite releases of the month of February. So yeah, go check that out, and I will catch y'all on the next video. Take it easy.